Hardman has the first down inside the 20. McCole Hardman now inside the 10-yard line. And an assist by an official on a bad call. Third down and goal. Mahomes in trouble, and he'll just go down. This from 34 to give Kansas City the lead. No timeouts. Jones under pressure, can't have that. Sacked at the 19.
Having some left in the tank.
Fourth and 15, last call for the Giants. In all sorts of trouble, and he's down.
This is going to be a really bitter pill for Joe Judge and the New York Giants. They were in this game.
Yeah, bitter pill for Joe Judge and the New York Giants. They fall to the Kansas City Chiefs by a final score 17-20. Of course, this is interesting to see. Your daily sports podcast about news, narratives, takes, and gambling and fantasy and other sports-related virtual memorabilia, if you will. Joe Judge and the 2021 New York Football Giants are 2-6 on the season. Joe Judge is just Matt Patricia, but he's from Philly and not Boston. Basically, if you just think about him as Philly Matt Patricia, that's all you need to think about. We're going to discuss, I was wrong, the World Series game is tonight. Game 6 is tonight. Game 7 is Wednesday, which is smart because there's no football on Thursday or on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. There is on Mondays and Thursdays, though. Big news in the NFL yesterday. The NFL trade deadline has gotten increasingly boring in recent years, but Von Miller was traded from the Los Angeles Rams, or to the Los Angeles Rams from the Denver Broncos. The Rams now, I believe, have one pick in the 2022 NFL draft. It is a 5th rounder. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure about that. Let's check in with Von. He got pretty emotional, I think. I didn't watch the video. Let's find out.
Team guy, I've always been a great teammate, and I'm going to continue to do the same thing.
And you hope to be able to play right away. You know, you were close last week.
I was close last week. You know, I hope to be able to play this week versus the Titans on Sunday night.
Will you always have Super Bowl 50? Will that be?
I always have Super Bowl 50. You know, seeing the pictures when I was walking out, it just it just made me tear up. You know, but we always got Super Bowl 50. I always got Broncos country, and keep going.
Is there hope then, as this thing you saw with Peyton last week, that someday there's a bow that ties where you're Ring of Famer, Hall of Famer?
100%. That's what it's all about, for sure.
Thank you, Von.
All right, Von. That was not as cool as I thought it would be. But Von Miller traded to the Los Angeles Rams, who are going all in. They then tweeted a picture or a GIF of the Rounders scene where the guy dumps all the chips on the table, where he's goading Matt Damon into going all in this very famous scene where pay him his money. Pay him his money. Yeah, well, that guy lost. The guy that went all in to goad Matt Damon. Matt Damon turned out to be holding all the cards. So I don't know, Los Angeles, if that was what you wanted to tweet, but they are indeed going all in. Matthew Stafford has gone back to being the prohibitive favorite to win the MVP at 5-1. Your boy got him at 12-1. What's up? You guys should have followed the show this summer, and you could have had Matthew Stafford at 12-1. It's a narrative award. Look at his schedule moving on for the rest of the year. So get this. Over the weekend, the last games at a National League park of the season, because the final games of the series, Game 6 and Game 7, will be played in Houston, which means that on the table this offseason is taking away the fact that pitchers can hit and allowing for universal designated hitters. And the Braves fans knew it, so they are chanting and cheering on the last pitcher to hit in the season. Let's check this video out.
Here it is, the last pitcher hitting.
Maybe a homer.
He's just going to stare at strike 3. Oh! We're working the count. Kendall Graveman, look at him.
The end of the day.
This is it, folks.
They're standing O at Truist Park.
Swing! Oh, we're going 2-2. Look at the discipline. Look at the discipline. Unbelievable. Come on.
He's not going to swing. Just throw it over. Here we go. End of an era.
Come on, Kendall.
It's been real, everybody. Thanks.
Oh! Oh! Oh, my God. Come on. Let's go. Do the swinging one thing. Come on. Bunch. Joe Bunch. Square around. Come on.
Really do it?
Come on.
Braves fans understood what was going on. That could be the last pitcher to ever hit on purpose in a lineup in a professional baseball game. Could have happened. It was Kendall Graveman. The universal DH is coming. I don't know if baseball wanting more offense is possibly a good thing. It's not going to make the game less boring. I don't know what to tell you. 7-inning games are fun. 7-inning doubleheaders have been fun for me. I would suggest doing more of those. That's my suggestion, but whatever. Yeah, Kendall Graveman, that's something that we'll talk about in the offseason, but it's kind of an interesting thing that happened. I didn't even notice that was happening until I was scrolling on Twitter. Let's talk about Dan Mullen. Florida got ass pounded by the Georgia Bulldogs, who are clearly the number one team in all the land, and Dan Mullen says he doesn't recruit during football season. He should be recruiting always. This is what Dan Mullen had to say at his press conference, and I don't know, I haven't watched this video either, but it's from a beat writer, so it has to be good because they are the most passive-aggressive people ever. The tweet says the video is even worse. So let's find out. Dan Mullen, what do you think about recruiting?
Coach, the topic of recruiting has come up a lot the last couple of days from a few angles.
Yep.
Is a different approach needed for the level of consistency?
Well, we're in the season right now. We'll do recruiting after the season, and when it gets to recruiting time, we can talk about recruiting.
Sounds good.
Okay.
When we get to recruiting time, we'll talk about recruiting. The Gators people have had all of these coaches, and they haven't gotten out of their way, and they should shut up. Just let the dude do his thing. He made Mississippi State good. Georgia's better than you. I don't understand this need to not suck right away. Like, you did this to yourselves by freaking out. This is how Texas became what they are now, which is a joke. Texas now is a joke. Other NFL news yesterday, the trade deadline has gotten incredibly boring, preposterously boring. Nothing is happening except Adrian Peterson has been signed because fantasy Armageddon has come. Derrick Henry, the greatest fantasy football player of all time, broke his toe and is out for the season. On a broken toe, he still averaged 2.9 yards per carry on 29 carries. Yeah, that's real. Isn't that crazy? He's such a freak of nature. Adrian Peterson back in the league after having a couple months off, not really doing anything this season. Let's talk about some football recruiting while we were on the topic. This is from head coach at Washington, Jimmy Lake. He was asked if beating Oregon is a big deal, if it's a rivalry, if it has any impact on recruiting, and he said the following. That is way more pumped up than it is. Our battles are really... Wait. I'm going to pull it up on the screen if you want to read it. I need to do a better job of this. Let's scroll. There we go. Our battles are really the schools that we go against that... I can't. I'm trying to speak English. Hold on. This is so not English. I'm going to do my best. Okay. Our battles are really the schools that we go against have academic prowess like the University of Washington, Notre Dame, Stanford, USC. We go with a lot of battles toe-to-toe all the way to the end with those schools. So I think that's made up and pumped up in the media's world. In our world, we battle more academically prowess teams. So that was a thing that he said. And this guy has it quoted in text, this beat writer from ESPN. Periods and commas are very, very generous, essentially charitable work from that guy. Yeah, let's just read the last sentence. This is great. In our world, we battle more academically prowess teams. It doesn't sound like academically prowess teams. It doesn't sound like you're an academically prowess team. Even what I just said was closer to a sentence than what that guy said. Oh my God, I can't believe that actually happened. That dude actually said that and compared Stanford and Notre Dame to Washington. I guess USC is probably a happy medium. But then also saying that Oregon is not academically prowess. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't Google where they are because I don't care. And the U.S. World Report. Wall Street Journal's is apparently the better ranking. I don't know. Or care that much. Let's look at Halloween. This Eastern European hockey player for the Seattle Kraken. They do this thing on the big board in the Kraken Stadium, which I don't know what it's called. I think it's called Climate Pledge Arena. Yeah, it's like Climate Change Arena, which could use some money there. I mean, I guess that's the same thing as any other thing. They have a staring contest on their board. Let's look at it. Ready, go. Oh, my God. He's frightening. Why is his hair so greasy? That's Tanev. I don't think he came from Montreal. I could be wrong in the player draft. I could be wrong that he came from Montreal. TikTok that went around the internet last Saturday has Patrick forced, essentially being content raped by his wife and brother to be in a TikTok. Jackson Mahomes is a famous TikToker. He did a TikTok dance on the number of Sean Taylor, who was infamously murdered in the prime of his career for Washington back in like 2007. He was one of the best Washington then not football team players of all time. He was incredible, a phenom, a freak of nature, and he was murdered. He was shot in the leg in a home invasion, and the Washington football team was honoring him. And Jackson Mahomes did a TikTok on his number that was spray painted on the field, and now he's forcing his brother Patrick to be in this TikTok. He's eating a chip, looking at the phone, and you can tell that, hey, I'm so glad I married you. This is so fun. My brother's here. He lives in my house and spends all my money. That's good. I saw a tweet from this beat writer named Vanessa Richardson, and I did some investigative work for all of you so that you don't have to. Vanessa Richardson was the only Houston area sports reporter in the press box for the Texans' loss to the Rams. All of them on Halloween weekend were like, nah, I ain't going. I'll watch on TV. That's real. That's a real thing. That really happened. And you can ask yourself, was the World Series happening at the same time? No, it wasn't. Nope. All the guys were just like, you know what? I'm not doing it. I ain't going. Catching up on things that happened over the weekend, Villanova had this thing for freshmen, and they recently updated their basketball court so that the court is propped up a little bit. If you've ever been on one of these propped up courts, they're kind of weird. All of the dudes and ladies who are rushing the court to come as freshmen, they don't see that there's a step, and they just like completely, oh my God, they're just eating shit. You have to watch this part of the video. I'll put it in the show notes. Unbelievable. I mean, you might have seen it. You've been on Twitter.com. All of you have Twitter.com. Talk a little bit more about the game last night. Yeah, the New York Football Giants, not great. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, also not great. The question now becomes, what's going to happen of these two teams? Now, I famously put myself out there on TikTok.com and said that Joe Judge will be the first coach fired. I stand by that. I stand by that aggressively. Patrick Mahomes attempted 48 passes for only 275 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The New York Giants cover the 10.5 points. You should always ask me before you bet on the primetime games. I'm really good at primetime games. The Chiefs' next game will be hosting the Packers on an afternoon game that all of us are going to force to care about or whatever. They're going to get crushed by the Packers. If we look at the standings, the fascinating thing about this is the Chiefs are the worst team in their division. Second worst. The Broncos are 4-4, and I think the Chiefs have beat the Broncos. The Raiders are running away from everyone at 5-2, which is fascinating to me. As we have another standings update, do people care about that? The first place team in the AFC are the Tennessee Titans, which everybody definitely predicted. For sure. In the NFC, the first place teams are the Cardinals, the Rams, the Cowboys, the Packers, and the Bucs. There are some good teams in the NFC, but everyone was like, the AFC is so good, and now it looks like, well, they actually kind of suck. The Bills are good, but they're also 5-2. It's the Titans. It's crazy because the Titans have the tiebreaker over the Buffalo Bills. Last night, Josh Allen joined Eli Manning and Peyton Manning on the Manning Cast for Monday Night Football. PFT commenter, a host of the famous sports podcast, Pardon My Take, tweeted at them, hey, do you think that the two of you could throw as far as Josh Allen? And Josh was just like, no, they definitely can't. Yeah, and I think that's true. Game 6 of the World Series is tonight in Houston, and I think that you have to have a cool fan base and a cool park, and they just don't. I'm so over that park. It looks like a Lego set in Houston, and it's sort of like college football, like when you watch Penn State on a rainy Saturday afternoon, or Wisconsin on a rainy Saturday afternoon, or like LSU under the lights, or Clemson under the lights, or Alabama under the lights, and it just looks cool. No, Alabama as the sun goes down, that CBS afternoon game, and it's just like part of the deal. Like, it looks cool. Baseball, I just don't. None of these two teams don't have that. It isn't cool. It's just two stadiums. There's the Lego set stadium and just some random stadium in Georgia. I just don't care, and I feel bad that I don't care about the World Series this year, but it's happening more and more, and got this stat that the NFL Network on Thursday said that they had 20 million viewers for Packers-Cardinals, which was more than double what the World Series had on Thursday night, which I believe was Game 2 of the World Series. And it was about 30 years ago, the World Series tripled any regular season football game. And it's just a sign of the times. People are not – baseball's boring. It just is. And so I bet I watch 3 to 4 innings tonight. I bet I watch 3 to 4. I don't know which 3 or 4, but I bet I watch 3 to 4. Houston trails Atlanta in the series 3-2. Please like, rate, review, subscribe. 5-star ratings are much appreciated. Send emails. Every time you CC someone an email, just add links to the show. That'd be great. I'll be back and better than ever tomorrow morning.